Okay, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to build a physique like Ivan Drago. All right, this physique is really aesthetic, really strong, and it's really just an overall good physique. I mean, this Ivan Drago is like the ultimate human being. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to build a physique just like Ivan Drago. All right, so let's get straight into it. So the goal for this physique is to be building functional muscle. All right, because he's boxing, he has to stay he has to control his muscles, right? He has to control himself really well. He can't just get all bulky because he's not gonna be able to move as well. All right. You need to be coordinated. All right. This dude is 6'5". Okay. That's a big problem with tall people. They lack coordination. All right. So if you want to get coordinated, you gotta do some stuff to fix that. Okay. I'm gonna go into that in just a little bit. Strength, you gotta be strong, of course. I mean, look at this guy. He's obviously gonna be strong. Okay. Endurance, as a boxer, you need to have good endurance to last long in fights. All right. So these are the main four things you're going to be focusing on. All right. Outside of like what the actual physique looks like. Okay. This is going to be the extra stuff we're going to be focusing on. All right. So functional muscle. Okay. Because you're a boxer, you got to have that functional muscle. Coordination. Okay. You don't just want to be wobbling around, especially if you're 6'5". It's really, there's a big chance you're uncoordinated if you're 6'5", unless if you actually work on it. Strength, you got to be strong, and endurance. You're a boxer, bro. You need endurance. Most of the time, whenever you're boxing or just fighting in general, endurance is what usually wins. Okay. So the physique strength. So his main strengths that he has is going to be a V taper. Okay. As you can see, he has the V taper. This is basically the goal for every physique as a male. You want to shoot for that V taper. Okay. He has a strong upper chest and he has strong shoulders. Okay. So we can easily achieve this natty if you just put in the work. He has good proportions. Okay. This is sort of genetic, but if you build your physique right, you can, get away with that and get good proportions. He does have the athletic look. Okay. He's lean, he's shredded, and he looks like he's like the Terminator, bro. So he does have that athletic look. Like when I was a kid, I used to think this dude was a robot. All right, that's how you know he's has that athletic look and that he's insanely strong. Okay. Now, how to properly build this physique. So the four things we're gonna be focusing on is going to the gym 2 to 3 times a week. I'm gonna go into that a little bit later. Daily cardio. Okay, you want to be doing your daily cardio. You want to be Because the reason why you want to do daily cardio is because that's how you're going to stay lean. That's how you're going to build functional muscle. You got to be able to recover. Okay, recovery is very important for reducing injuries and building more muscle. And you got to be getting your nutrition dialed in. Okay, nutrition and recovery are going to go hand on hand, but these are the main things you're going to focus on. Okay. So before we get into that, this is my official program right here. Okay, join the Bat Cave. All right, this is where I talk about how I built my physique. Right, this is me before. This is me 2 years of training. This is me like 8 months after this 2 years of training. So I've made a lot of progress in just like a few months, just by using this protocol that I go over in this program. And I talk about how to build a physique like Batman. Okay. And also make sure you guys follow my Twitter. All right. I post on there too. So if you want to learn more about me, you can go to that. Now for the gym, what you want to do is you want to focus on doing upper body twice a week. Okay. So you want to hit your upper body twice a week. I said go to the gym 2 to 3 times a week. So I actually mean hit upper body 2 to 3 times a week. Okay. Every time you want to go to the gym, you got to always hit your upper body. Okay. Well, you're not going to go to the gym every day, but you're going to go at least 2 to 3 times a week so you can get your upper body work in. Okay. The reason why you want to do upper body twice a week is because you're going to be able to build more muscle just by, hitting more frequency and hitting more intensity. All right, so the more you hit a muscle, and every 48 hours or 72 hours, whenever you lift like that, you get maximum muscle stimulus. So that's why we're not going to go to the gym every day, because there's not going to be that big of a difference. Versus if you go 2 to 3 times a week, every 48 hours, you get maximum muscle stimulus. That's why I have it set up like this, where you go and hit upper body twice a week. But it might be 3 times a week too, depending on how much time you go to the gym. Okay. And by the way, with the gym, I just told you guys about the muscle stimulus. Every 48 hours, you get maximum muscle stimulus in your workout. Okay, so there's no point of going every single day when you can just go like every other 2 days. Okay, and I'm about to show you that in a second. All right, next you want to focus on doing compound plus isolation movements. Okay, so what compound movements is going to do? This is going to build your overall base. This is going to build your foundation. This is going to build your strength. Okay, so this is how you're really going to get strong. So every lift, you want to start with your compound lift. So for example, if you're focusing on your chest this day, you're gonna be you're gonna be doing bench press, incline bench press, whatever. All right, basically all the compound movements. You start that with the workout, okay? And basically, compound movements is going to maximize your strength because it builds muscle in multiple areas. So, for example, bench press is going to hit your chest, your shoulders, and your triceps, and a little bit of other areas too. All right. While isolation only focuses on one muscle group. And for isolation, the reason why we have this at the end of our workouts is because after you already hit the compound lifts, then you use the remaining energy to isolate your certain muscles that you want to grow. So, for example, let's say you have a really weak upper chest, then you start the workout with your normal compound lifts to maximize your strength. Then you do some like isolation chest exercises like a chest press. That's how you're gonna be able to grow that. Okay. Or maybe you have weak arms and you hit bicep curls and you know hammer curls and you can get your arms right. All right. So that's how compound and isolation works. So you're gonna start every lift with a compound lift and you're gonna end it with isolation. So like machines. Finally, progressive overload. This is really important for just building muscle in general. You can do all the workouts in the world. You can do all the proper exercises in the world, but you're not going to grow if you're not doing progressive overload. So you need to be focused on progressive overloading. You need to be getting stronger every single lift. And you do this by focusing on your recovery and your training. All right. Now, this is kind of covered a little bit. Can I move this? Yes, I can. Okay, perfect. So for the gym, on an every single upper body day, you're going to be hitting 4 certain muscle groups. So you're going to be hitting your back, your chest, your shoulders, and your arms. I like to start every upper body workout with pull-ups because that's my main compound movement. So I like to hit my back first. So I would do pull-ups, then I would do rows. You can start with chest, but it just depends on your weak points. If you have a weak back, I recommend you start with back. If you have a weak like front, start with the front of your body. All right. So I do back, I start with back. Then I go to chest. For chest, I do incline chest press and I do pec deck. For shoulders, I do lateral raises and then I do reverse pec deck and I do shoulders right after I hit chest. So this is the exact order I do it in. I start my workout with pull-ups, then I go to rows, then I go to incline chest press, then I go to pec deck, and then I do reverse pec deck right there. So I can be more convenient, and I do lateral raises, and then I go to the arms and hit bicep curls, tricep extensions, and some wrist curls. All right, bicep curls is going to grow your biceps. Tricep extensions is going to grow your triceps, and wrist curls are going to grow your forearms. Okay. Let me go back to that real quick. Lateral raises are going to go and grow your side delts. Reverse pec deck is going to grow your rear delts. Incline chest press is going to grow your upper chest and a little bit of your middle chest. Pec deck is going to grow your this little area right here. So sort of the middle chest, but a little bit of the pecs too around there. Basically the same thing. Pull ups is going to basically grow all the back, mainly the whole back. Rows is going to grow your upper back. That's how you do that. Now for cardio, this is going to be what gets you that edge. All right, a lot of people, they either stick to one, they might do a lot of cardio, or the other person might do a lot of weightlifting. But what we want to do is we want to meet that right in the middle and do both. Okay, and that's how you attain this physique. So for cardio, if you want to lose a lot of fat, you want to hit 10K steps a day. Okay, I recommend this for anyone who has a lot of fat on them. All right, you want to be bulking while building a lot of muscle, but then you want to lose all the fat by hitting your 10K steps a day. Okay, that's what 10K steps a day is going to do for you. Doing a lot of walking, just doing a lot of moving. This is how you're going to lose your fat. All right. Zone 2 cardio. So this is going to be stuff like swimming. I have it right here, but I'm going to go into that in just a second. This is going to be stuff like swimming. This is going to be jogging, okay? Running for like long distances. This is going to train your stamina, get your endurance right. And like I said over here, we want to be getting our endurance right. Okay, that's important. That's how you're going to last long. So you want to get your zone 2 cardio. This is how you're going to get your endurance right for the most part. Sprints, this is what's going to get your explosiveness right. So this is going to get your legs a lot stronger. You're going to be able to get those athletic legs with sprints. You're going to be able to build more explosiveness in your legs too. and this is also going to help shred off fat too. All three of these things, matter of fact, all these things will shred off fat. So if you do a few sprints a week, so maybe 2 sprints a week, maybe one zone 2 cardio a week, and 10K steps a day, you're going to be able to attain something like this with the right with the right lifting, with the right training. You will get there. Okay, just off of leanness. Now you won't get the muscle unless if you're actually lifting though. So you got to make sure you dial in both of these. All right, cardio and lifting. Swimming, this is basically zone 2 cardio, but I also like doing this. All right. Sports. This is the best way to do cardio, in my opinion. Find a sport you enjoy and just play a lot. Just have fun playing the sport, and you're going to be able to lose a lot of fat. You're going to be able to get shredded. You're going to be doing sprints during the sport, and you're going to be doing zone 2 cardio all at the same time. So this is really what I like to do a lot. So for example, for me, I like to play basketball. Sometimes you're jogging. Sometimes you're, standing up, resting a little bit. Sometimes you're sprinting. Okay, so you get all three in one. So I recommend you really just play a sport. Soccer, for example, does this really well too. So play a sport, find a sport you enjoy, play it a lot, and you can basically do all these at the same time. Now recovery, you got to be able to recover, bro. If you're not recovering, you're just not gonna. You're gonna get injured. I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna get injured. So, or you're not gonna make as much gains either. So for recovery, you want to be sleeping 9 to 10 hours a night. All right, non-negotiable. This is where most of your human growth hormones going to come in. This is where your recovery is going to truly come in. Okay, all these other stuff is all this other stuff works, but it's not gonna be as effective as just sleep. So you got to be sleeping. Now, if you truly can't get sleep, I recommend you do all these other stuff, but sleep is what's gonna be the main factor that really helps you recover. Okay, swimming. I recommend you swim after every single lift, all right, or swim on your rest days, because swimming is going to be what I call active recovery. And active recovery is going to promote blood flow during the body while protecting your joints. This is going to make your body feel really good. You're going to feel a lot more relaxed. You're not going to feel less sore. And I love just swimming after every single workout. Sauna and steam room. All right, this kind of goes hand in hand. Sauna is going to be more focused on dry heat. Steam room is going to be focused more on moisturized heat or wet heat, whatever you want to call it. So you can do whatever you want. I do the sauna in my opinion, and then I do a cold plunge right after. You basically just want to go back and forth with this. This is going to allow you to get all the benefits from heat and cold at the same time. If you don't have access to a sauna or a cold plunge, you can always do contrast showers where you make the water really hot for like a minute, then you make it really cold for a minute, and you spend like 5 minutes in there just contrasting the shower. So that's going to give you similar benefits, not as strong, but it's going to give you similar benefits since you are, being warmed and you do a cold plunge right after. Stretching back to coordination. You got to be stretching. Okay, this is how you're going to get coordinated. If you're doing your cardio and you're doing your stretching, you will be coordinated. All right, that won't be an issue for you. All right, so stretching. I don't have any stretches to give you guys in this video, sadly, but if you've been in PE before, they do stretches before you start. Whenever you're in PE, before you start playing, you gotta do the warm-ups, like you walk for like a little bit and then you stretch. Basically just copy those stretches at the start, and you will be able to be a lot more coordinated, and you will also reduce the injury. And make sure you're actually going hard on these stretches too. Like sit there for like a minute and really just feel the stretch. Don't just half-ass it where you're not gonna get the results that you're looking for. Now for the diet, I think this is like no, this is almost the final part. Can't speak to this video. I don't know what's going on. But the diet we're going to be focusing on is the Primo diet. All right, look at Drago. This dude does not eat, garbage. All right, this dude's 100% eating clean. Okay, obviously he is on roids for this movie, but we're going to be focusing on the Primo diet. All right, if you eat a Primo diet, you get similar effects to what steroids give you, because Primo diets can optimize testosterone. Roids also optimize testosterone. So yeah, this is the easy way to go. But if you're trying to be the healthiest version of yourself, I recommend everyone hops on the Primo diet. At least do it for like a season while you're lifting, trying to get as strong as possible. Then you can maybe, not be as strict after. But I recommend, if you want to feel your best, hop on the Primo diet. All right, so this is going to consist of red meat, eggs, milk, only fruit whenever it's in season. So for example, you can only eat fruit whenever it's like spring and summer. So blueberries, you only eat that like in the spring. Watermelon, you're only gonna eat that in the summer. And then honey for carbs. So before your workout, just take some honey, spray it in, not spray it, but like pour it in your mouth a little bit and just drink it. I know it tastes disgusting, but it does work. It's a really effective carb source. This is really good for getting your fructose in. So that's my favorite carb to go. And then fruits, only eat it in season. And then milk has a lot of benefits, good dairy. Eggs and red meat, they go hand in hand. They both will maximize your testosterone. All right, and now finally, the workout plan that we're going to be doing. It's not really a workout plan, but this is how often you're going to be going to the gym. So like I said earlier in the video, you will only get maximum muscle stimulus within 48 hours. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the gym every other 2 days. So let's say, for example, you start going to the gym on Monday, right? Then you go and hit upper body on Monday. Then you hit upper body on Thursday. Then Sunday. That's 3 times in 1 week. But then this week, you're not going to be able to do it 3 times. You're only going to be able to do it 2 times because it's just not that much days in the week. So after Sunday, you rest another 2 days. Then you go on Wednesday, rest another 2 days. Then you go on Saturday, rest another 2 days. Then you go on Tuesday, rest another 2 days. Then you go on Friday. Then you rest another 2 days. Then you go on Monday, and you just repeat this cycle. So if you want to take a screenshot or just know in your head that you're going to take 2 rest days, then you're going to go to the gym. All right, and that is the video for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. This is how you build the Ivan Drago physique. All right, if you want to learn more about building a good quality physique or building a better physique, this is me within 2 years of training. This is me like 2.5 years of training. All right, and I did this just using the exact protocol that's in here. Okay, so if you want to check that out, please check that out. Drop a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you can never miss an upload, and go follow my Twitter, Julian Dark Knight. All right, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.